going to be continuing these Dragon Age. And I think we just got Liliana, we did. So I am going to be checking where we should go. Right, we should go to Redcliffe. Right, we should go to Redcliffe.
You're here about food. Take it up with that bleed. I got other gear to sell. Whole mess of refugees come in and leave near every night. All have hungry bellies, sad tales, and mementos for barter. I sold that bleeding merchant outside about half my larder 2 weeks back, and now he's charging outrageous sums for all my food.
Oh yeah, I'd imagine.
You did? Well, I don't know what to say to that. Thanks.
I gotta do that. Ooh, I can sell my stuff now. Go. Oh no, this is his inventory. Oops. Not using it, sell all of it. I have no idea if this is good, so I'm just gonna sell it. That I'm not selling. Not sure what these are for. Maybe armor mods? I'll keep those just for now. Oh, this is a gift. I'll keep that. I'm hoping these are just for selling.
You're here about food. Take. I got other gear to sell. Check the chanter's board by the chanter. I don't suppose you know anything about. I figured if I'd pay good coin for some simple poison, something to slow them beasties down or make them think twice. Thanks. I might have some ingredients in stock. Don't.
Can I just sell him a bunch of poison? Where's poison maker? You have poison maker. I don't need a flask.
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to see me?
Oops. Didn't mean to do that.
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to see my stock?
Yeah. There. There are 10 of them.
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to see my stock? Oh, sad to hear it. There should be enough around to make some.
Why does he... He wants a specific one? Toxin extract.
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to... Oh, sad. There should be enough around to make...
As soon as it's redundant, he's going to be selling toxin extract. There it is. Yeah, I don't have that.
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to see my stock? Oh, sad to hear it. I'd look in the woods. There should be enough around to make some, even if it's just rat poison.
Out 3 flies of them. Yeah, no, I don't have that. Oh well.
Did you speak to that knight yesterday? He said he was from Redcliffe.
Let's do other quests then.
Hello, stranger. I don't suppose you know anyone that can make traps? I didn't...
No, I don't own my traps.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
You got a bed for the night. You taken care of. You look better armed than most refugees that come through.
I hope
Not
so.
implying you're a deserter or the like. I'll trust you can take care of yourself. Don't need blades right now. I don't suppose you know anything of tonics, medicines, or herbs. Then you may be... All manner of travelers come through. Many... There's... I'll write...
Push you up.
Have any luck finding herbs in the woods? This will help many.
I'm glad I could have used one of the ones I had already.
I saw you take the supplies from my car. Your grassland eyes are in it.
Oh, Stan, I remember Stan.
Mara, you aren't one of my captors. I will not amuse you any more than I have the other humans.
What's
Leave
he
me in
again?
peace.
An orc? I don't remember.
I'm in a cage, am I not? I've been placed here by the Chantry.
The revered mother said he slaughtered an entire family, even the children.
It is as she says. I am Sten of the Beresad, the vanguard of the Kunari peoples.
Oh, Canara, Dutch words.
You mock me, or you show manners I have not come to expect in your lands. Though it matters little now, I will die soon enough.
This is a proud and powerful creature, trapped as prey for the Darkspawn. If you cannot see a use for him, I suggest releasing him for mercy's sake alone.
Mercy? I wouldn't have expected that from you.
I would also suggest that Alistair take his place in the cage.
Yes, that's what I would have expected.
God, I
I
love this
suggest you
comedy
leave me
duo.
to my fate. No doubt. What help do you seek? The Blight. Are you a Grey Warden, then? Surprising. My people have heard legends of the Grey Warden's strength and skill. Though I suppose not every legend is true.
Oh,
Perhaps if you told her the Grey Wardens need my assistance, it seems as likely to bring my death as waiting here. Farewell.
To be left here to starve? Or to be taken by the dogs?
People here are already desperate and frightened.
also don't know the context of what she murdered these people, so like,
We don't need you two coming to blows. But what about my food?
let's try to save them.
Got a cut.
Like, maybe he was defending himself, so... Oh wait, no, this is the pub. This is the pub.
Did you see the new recruiters out?
Why do you always go on about how stupid I am? I'm not stupid, am I?
If you need to ask the question...
Because it hurts my manly feelings, you know. Or one of them.
Then I'll be sure to write you an apology once all of this is over.
Jesus
I was
Christ.
educated by the Chantry. I studied history. They don't make stupid Templars.
Then I must have been mistaken. I'm very impressed.
No, you're not. You're not even listening to me.
The fucking comedy duo. Comedy stylings of Alistair and Morton. My favorite. It's a keyboard part.
Good day, Sister Leliana. I'm surprised to see you're still in Lothering.
It is good to see you as well, Your Reverence.
Is there something I can do for you then? It might have been kinder to execute him, but I leave his fate to the Maker. Why does he interest you? He butchered an entire farmhold. Only one of the youngest hid long enough to survive. The child said his father had found the Qunari gravely wounded and took him in. That kindness was repaid with murder. The bandsman found the Qunari just standing amidst the carnage. He did not resist them. He confessed quite readily, but would give no reason for the crime. Even the seasoned knights who apprehended him were disturbed by the carnage. However docile he appears, do not be fooled. That Qunari is a danger.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Then his next victims might count you and me as their murderers. And what do you say on this, Leliana? You know your friend better than I.
These are unusual times, Your Reverence. With us, the Qunari might do some good. I am sure of it, in fact.
Were things not so desperate? Very well, I trust you.
Thank you, Your Reverence. Your trust is not misplaced.
Oh, good. It's nice having Liliana around. I'm not gonna use Sten at the moment, but I'm sure he'll have his moment to shine eventually. So it'll be nice having him.
All right, I've come up with one. A question that you can't answer.
Are you talking to me?
That's right. You think you're so smart. I've got an academic question that I bet you won't be able to answer.
Oh, I doubt that.
So tell me then. What was the name of Andraste's husband?
This is a religious question, not an academic one.
You're joking, right? A 5-year-old could answer that question. Do you not know more than a child?
I care nothing for your religion, and this game of yours is over.
Oh, how the mighty have crumbled.
Jesus Christ.
You wish something more of me? I confess, I did not think the priestess would part with it. So be it. Set me free and I will follow you against the Blight. You may try. And so it is done. I will follow you into battle. In doing so, I shall find my atonement. May we proceed? I am eager to be elsewhere.
Did I just miss the dog or something?
Very well.
How do I travel? I just wander through often. So research again. Oh! Oh no. That's a lot of mercenaries. Okay. Well, that's one death already.
That was, not pleasant.
Creatures have no true reason to fight us.
There is no glory in fighting!
End this! I'm feeling free and you shall pay! Let's make this quick!
God damn it. Whew. Okay.
Wipe them out!
Shall be done. Very well.
Okay, we might have to put this on easy difficulty. There we go. Alright, well that worked. Much better. Just gonna keep it on easy difficulty for story reasons.
Away with you, foul creatures! Leave us alone!
Get it!
mighty timely arrival there, my friend. I'm much obliged. The name's Bodon Feddick, merchant and entrepreneur. This here is my son, Sam. Say hello, my boy.
Hello.
Road's been mighty dangerous these days. Mind if I ask what brings you out here? Perhaps we're going the same way. Grey Wardens. My, that does rather explain a lot. No offense, but I suspect there's more excitement on your part.
Goodbye.
Now then.
It is begun. I shall do it.
As you like.
Yeah, one more group we gotta find.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
It is begun. It shall be done.
Pleasant. Ooh, I think a boulder dropped on me there.
Hey, let's go fast.
Been out to the market.
Any luck with that poison? Or you here to see my stock? Splendid! Yeah.
So how is it that Terran Logain survived when even a Grey Warden couldn't make it?
They say your mother is Flemeth, a witch of the Kukari Wilds.
They also say that washing your feet in winter makes you catch cold in the head, but we all know that is not true. But sometimes they are right. And they are right in this.
You know the stories about...
Of course. You think my mother would let me go without telling me all the stories of her youth?
My mother told me stories too. She was the one who kindled my love of the old tales and legends.
My mother's stories curdled my blood and haunted my dreams. No little girl wants to hear about the wilder men her mother took to her bed, using them until they were spent, then killing them. No little girl wants to be told that this is also expected of her once she comes of age.
I see.
No, you don't. You really don't.
The path of righteousness is full of hardship, but the Maker smiles upon its travelers.
Yeah, no. Not in the mood for fetching Gorgos.
We done heard what was said. You're a warden. I don't know if you killed King Kalen, and make her forgive me, I don't care. But that bounty on your head could feed a lot of hungry bellies. Attack!
I shall do it. My bruises are all bruised. As you say.
I'm sure this is gonna have consequences in some way, shape, or form. Killing, like, almost 10 refugees.
Bad dreams, huh? Well, it is real, sort of. You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight. I don't know if it's really a dragon, but it sure looks like one. It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me too. That's what I'm here for. To deliver unpleasant news and witty one-liners. Anyhow, you're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on.
Yes? Well, here I am. I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed. I fell, and the darkness drew me in. I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rose bush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith. In my dream, I fell, or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the Blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything? I don't know. He made this world. He could destroy it. But there is so much worth saving. You're such a pessimist.
I mean, sure.
Why are we stopping? There are Darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful? I am Qunari. I have given my word to aid you. We are not people of idle promises. I am. Decide. I am a Sten of the Beresad. I did not choose to be who I am any more than you did. You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight. No. People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
Fair.
Many humans have said that to me. I do not understand it. If I were indeed hostile, you would be bleeding. Couldn't you tell? As you wish.
Nothing approves.
What do you need? You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did. I should have handled it better. Duncan warned me right from the beginning that this could happen. Any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the Blight and everything. I'm sorry. I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if we're still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of. I suppose he did. It probably sounds stupid, but part of me wishes I was with him, in the battle. I feel like I abandoned him.
Survivor's guilt.
Yes. I know. I think he came from Hyeva, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. Have you had someone close to you die? Not that I mean to pry, I'm just... Yes, I imagine you really have, haven't you? Thank you. Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Good.
I'd like that. So would he, I think.
What do you wish of me? If you must. I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend. Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know? The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess. Anyone with sufficient will, but the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell and thus requires a mage's talents. Indeed, you could learn the spells required if I cared to teach you. There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary. They do not shy away from me. To their senses, I believe I seem like any other of their species. As to what they think, I truly cannot say. Just as I am still human, no matter my form, they are still animals. Thus they cannot speak, even were I to ask. No, 'tis not unheard of in the remote corners of the world. There are traditions of magic outside of the circle of magi, despite what those mages would have you believe. Some of these traditions are old, indeed, passed down as carefully guarded lore from one generation to the next. The zealots of the Chantry would uproot all such practitioners if they could. But as luck have it, some still exist. My mother is such a one. Not all apostates use the forbidden blood arts. Maleficarum do, but to condemn all who do not fall under the circle's thrall for the sake of what might be is a dangerous path to walk. There are those who look on the word apostate as meaning freedom.
That's fair. That is
Indeed.
very fair.
Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch? Oh, you're simply full of surprises, little man, aren't you? But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather.
Wait,
What do you wish of me? If you must. Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be? You mean, is she truly... Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience. Ah, I see. That does explain much. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire. As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful. a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her. Many centuries before this land was even named Ferelden, the tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conobar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conobar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed. The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conobar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge. Spirits first, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. Flemeth did not turn to the demon until much later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies. The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Oh, hi, Devi.
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her. You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too. The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well. I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Often it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all. How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect even to her.
Interesting.
Flemeth tells it with far... Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless. Nothing. I wish to know nothing. I find myself a little envious to... What do you wish of me? If you must. Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I? Beg pardon then, while I jump for joy. What is it you asked? If I grew up in the wilds? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time, I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness. For the most part, Flemeth taught me well. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for. Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested. Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting? To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again. Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
God, I love Morgan.
Yes? If you must. You are very cute to ask so many questions. Really? Perhaps we should be wrapped in ribbons and adorned with flowers. So cute are we, too. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it.
She is always shitting on this poor
The
man.
Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more. I am unsure. I was too young to understand, and perhaps 'twas bravado on Flemeth's part, or perhaps she was merely amused. I will never know. Flemeth would warn them, once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom. Me? No, I never did any of the killing until later. And even then, Flemeth was a glutton for that sort of thing. Thankfully, the Wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum. I think that my mother made it fun so that a child did not learn to fear. And I think that it was necessary. There are no trials for apostates, no prisons, no mercy. There are only absolutes, so only survival matters. If the Wilds have taught me anything, 'tis this. First, you must survive. Do you disagree? An interesting answer for a mage. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand. Yes? So, full of questions, are you? Possibly, if I had the desire to. I do not.
Why is that an option?
Yes? So, I assume you were truly? I do not know. I once asked Flemeth that very question. It is not inconceivable that she could capture a chastened man, or perhaps change to a more attractive form to attract him willingly. I find it more difficult to imagine her with child. It seems likely, does it not? In an animal form, a babe could easily be spirited away and raised as Flemeth's own. I do know the tales of Flemeth having many daughters, even though I have never met another. And Flemeth has always treated me as her blood. I would have nothing in common with them, nor any need for what they might provide.
Fair.
Flemeth taught me everything I needed to learn. How to survive, the meaning of power, the truth of men.
That's
If
smart.
other mothers do not teach these things, then I believe them the lesser. Room for coddling and weakness? Why should such things be desirable? Take yourself. You do not honestly desire such things from me, do you? 'Tis better to be free of such cloying and cluttering delusions as love. Then more the fool you, I think. I tire of this discussion. Yes? At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees. For a time, but one can only remain. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds. She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken. And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been. Do I not? I am still an apostate mage, even if I have left the wilds. The Darkspawn are yet undefeated. No, there is much that remains. To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such... I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no...
Ah, it's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennick, at your service. Once again, I saw your camp and thought to myself, what safer place... I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Anything, everything, but all of the finest quality. No cheap trinkets here. Sadly, it also makes us a target for bandits and the like. If they're wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
And hello to a possible turtle.
Hello.
The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant.
Enchantment!
I have a... no, check. Okay. Who the fuck are you?
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy. Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader? Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years. But here I am carrying on while... But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something in... But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. My family... well, past a bit... My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden Commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Olin banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles. Duncan wanted to reclaim the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak, and perhaps we'll uncover evidence to restore my family's honour. Nobody's been to Soldier's Peak since... They say it's haunted, and it's certainly dangerous. Will you help me? 1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map.
Yeah, that's DLC. Figured as much. Alright, continue traveling, we go.
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Indeed.
Indeed.
Yes. Look, can we talk for a moment? I need to tell you something. I, should probably have told you earlier. Well, let's see. How do I tell you this? We're almost at Redcliffe. Did I say how I know Arl Eamon, exactly? I'm a bastard. My mother was a serving girl at Redcliffe Castle, and she died when I was born. Arl Eamon took me in and raised me before I was sent to the Chantry. The reason he did that was because... well, because my father was King Marek, which made Kaelin my half-brother, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maker's breath, I hope not. I don't think so. You don't think so, do you? I'm a bastard. And nobody even knows about me. I would have told you, but it never really meant anything to me. I was inconvenient, a possible threat to Kaelin's rule, and so they kept me secret. Everyone who knew either resented me for it or they coddled me. Even Duncan kept me out of the fighting because of it. I didn't want you to know as long as possible. Oh, good. I'm glad. It's not like I got special treatment for it anyhow. Arl Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, despite all the problems it caused with the king so soon after the war. He loved her a great deal. Anyway, the new Arlessa resented the rumors which pegged me as the Arl's bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10. Just as well. The Arlessa made she may have, but I think it's more likely that she feared the rumors might be true. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there and blamed him. Let's hope not. I'm the son of a commoner and a Grey Warden to boot. It was made very clear to me early on that there was no room for me raising any rebellions or such. And that's fine by me. No, if there's an heir to be found, it's Arl Eamon himself. He's not of royal blood, but he is Cailan's uncle, and more importantly, though, if he's really as sick as we've heard... Oh no, I don't want to think about that. So there you have it. Now can we move on? And I'll just pretend you still think I'm some nobody who was too lucky to die with the rest of the Grey Wardens. Oh, lovely. I'm going to regret this. Somehow I just know it.
I thought I saw travelers coming down the road. Have you come to help us? The Arl? Then you don't know. There's nobody out. He could be dead for all we know. Nobody's heard from... We're under attack. Monsters come out of the castle every night and attack us until dawn. Everyone...
Apparently everyone seems to agree that a blight is the perfect time to start killing each other. Marvelous, really.
We've no army to defend us. No Arl and no king to send us help. So many are dead.
Hold on, what is this evil that's
I should take you to Ban Tegan.
Ban Tegan, Arl Eamon's brother?
Yes.
Jeez.
It's Thomas, yes? And who are these people with you? They are obviously not simple travelers.
No, my lord. They just arrived, and I thought you would want to see them.
Well done, Thomas. Greetings, friends. My name is Tegan, Ban of Rainisfere, brother to the Arl.
I remember you, Ban Tegan. Though the last time we met, I was a lot younger and covered in mud.
Covered in mud? Alistair? It is you, isn't it? You're alive!
Still alive, yes. Though not for long.
Indeed. Loghain would have us believe all Grey Wardens died along with my nephew, amongst other things. What, that he pulled his men in order to save them? That Cailan risked everything in the name of glory? Hardly. Loghain calls the Grey Wardens traitors, murderers of the king. I don't believe it. It is an act of a desperate man. So you are a Grey Warden as well. A pleasure to meet you. I wish it were under better circumstances. You're here to see my brother. No one has heard from the castle in days. No guards patrol the walls, and the attack started a few nights ago. Evil things surged from the castle. We drove them back, but many perished. Some call them the Walking Dead, decomposing corpses returning to life with a hunger for human flesh. They hit again the next night. Each night they come. With Cailan dead and Loghain starting a war over the throne, no one responds to my urgent calls for help. I have a feeling tonight's assault will be the worst yet. Alistair.
It isn't just up to me. Though the Grey Wardens don't stand much chance against Loghain without Arl Eamon.
How pointless to help these villagers fight an impossible battle. One would think we had enough to contend with elsewhere.
Thank you. Thank you. Thomas, please tell Murdoch what
Yes, my...
Now then, there is much to do before night falls. Murdoch, the village mayor, is outside the chantry. Sir Perth, one of Eamon's knights, is just up the cliff at the windmill, watching the castle. You may discuss with them the preparations for the coming battle. Of course. Hopefully we can find the source and stop it before it causes any more damage. With luck. Very well.
I'm scared, Mother. When are the bad men coming?
Sorry. Am I bothering you? I'll try to be more... Those things dragged my mother away.
How terrible. You poor thing.
And now my brother Bevan, he ran off. I don't know where he is. I'm so... You will. I'm so scared, Father.
You know, we don't have the men.
Still no sign of them coming back from the castle, Murdoch.
So you're the Grey Warden, are you? So you say. A damn Qunari could walk up and say he was a Grey Warden. I wouldn't know the difference. We aren't gonna turn aside anyone who wants to help, though.
This
Don't
man
take
sounds
me
like
for
he
being an
smoked
ingrate
like
or
10
nothing.
fucking packs of cigarettes.
Well, we
a
do
day.
want to help however we can. You can trust us.
Name's Murdoch, mayor of what's left of the village, providing we aren't all killed and hauled off to the castle. Anyhow, you're here, and they tell me you're in charge. Morale's up. I just hope I'm alive tomorrow. We need what little armor and weapons we got. Owen's the only blacksmith who can do it, but the stubborn fool refuses to even talk. If we're to be ready for tonight, we'll need that crotchety bastard's help. His daughter, Valena, is one of the Alessa's maids. He demanded we attack the castle, break down the gate, and force up. He's locked himself in the smithy now. I can't force him. I'd appreciate it. Tell them to maintain watch. I don't want a surprise attack before the sun goes down.
Yes, sir. What should we do until then?
Pray, and hope for a miracle.
Go away. Curse you. Leave me in peace. You've already... Huh? Who is that? What do you want? Hmm?
Maker's breath. What is that smell? It's like someone set a brewery on fire.
Somebody's been drinking.
So I let you in.
Christ.
You wanted to talk. Now we're talking. Mind telling me who you are? A Grey Warden, is it? Anyhow, my name's Owen, though you might already know that. Care to join me as I get besotted? Or is there something in particular you wanted? Why should I help Murdoch? My girl, Valena, is one of the Alessa's maids and she's trapped up there in the castle, but the mayor won't send anyone for her. She's been my life since my wife passed on 2 years ago. Now she's dead, or soon to be. I don't care what happens to me or the village, or anyone! It'd do me the world of good to think maybe someone like you could go in and find her. Provided any of us live through the night. Not good enough.
You were asking a great deal, you wretched little man.
I want a promise. Promise me that you'll look for her. That you'll bring her back to me if you can. I'll accept that.
Oh, lovely. Shall we next begin rescuing kittens from trees?
Shut up, Morgan.
Right
Stop
then.
bullying me.
It seems I have some work to do, relighting the forge, and I suppose I'll have to find some iron. Maybe at the mill. Oh, Murdoch just better send his men here. If you need anything done.
Well, it looks like the damn fool is falling over. I'll inform Bantig and the militia is ready to fight. We'll give those bastards a welcome they won't soon forget. I have a...
Is it this one? It's Caitlin's phone.
Ah! What are you doing? All right, I'll come out. Please, Don't hurt me. I'll go back to the Chantry if you... I just didn't want to be at the Chantry anymore. Everyone's scared, and I want to be brave. I wasn't always in here. I hid when I heard you coming. I was... Well, I shouldn't tell you. It's a secret. You could. Father said I could have his sword when I grew up. It was Grandfather's. And Grandfather was a great dragon slayer. I thought, if I was brave like Grandfather, I could use his sword and kill the bad people who took Mother. Thank you, sir. But the sword is too heavy for me. In the chest. In Mother's room. But I can't give it to you. It was Father's. Caitlin would be so... You could? Maybe you could give my sister money? She said if we had money, we'd be... Oh, I should...
Do this, do that.
It shall be done.
Bevan said you were the one who found him. I can't Bevan told me about Grandfather's sword. So you have it then? I suppose it won't go to waste, at least.
If that's the case, we should
I have no idea what it's worth, to be honest. And you found Bevan? Thank you! That's certainly a lot of coin. How can I ever repay you? The Maker sent you.
Begun.
Not looking for company. Why? I don't live here. Just waiting until I can leave again. Elves aren't allowed to travel? Great.
I shall do it.
Interesting.
So, let me get this straight. You were a cloistered sister?
You must have been a brother before you became a Templar, no?
I never actually became a Templar. I was recruited into the Grey Wardens before I took my final vows.
And I went the wrong way.
Do you ever regret leaving the Chantry?
No, never. Do you?
Yes. You may not believe it, but I found peace there. The kind of peace I've never known.
It used to get so quiet at the monastery that I would start screaming until one of the brothers came running. I would tell them that I was just checking. So what's the deal with you and him anyway? Dare I ask?
Him? Him who? Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You know exactly who I'm talking
they're talking about
Mr.
me.
Let's make kissy faces over there.
My. You are jealous, aren't you? Did I take your favorite Grey Warden away from you?
What? I'm not jealous. I'm horrified.
Those blushing cheeks of yours tell a different tale.
These blushing cheeks are terrified that you'll suck all the blood out of them once you're finished with him.
If I feel the need to suck on anything of yours, Alistair, you'll be the first to know.
That was so not what I meant.
Perhaps we should go and tell him together about your touching concerns.
Jesus
Perhaps
Christ.
he'll pay more attention to you if you ask nicely.
Uh-huh. I think we're done here.
Done before you started, in fact.
This is what happens when I slowly romance Morgan. Alistair gets jealous.
Greetings, Grey Warden. I am as relieved as Ban Tegan is to see you here. I must admit that I do not quite know how to address you. Is my lord sufficient? As you wish, and thank you kindly. I am Sir Perth, until recently in direct service of Arl Eamon of Redcliffe. For now my charge is defending the village from these evil assaults. Would that I had chosen not to seek out the urn of sacred ashes. Perhaps I would have fended off whatever evil befell the castle, or perhaps I would be dead. Ah well, with a Grey Warden aiding our defense, perhaps all is not lost. We have sufficient armor and weapons, but my knights are too few. Perhaps you could approach Mother Hannah in the Chantry for some holy protection against these evil creatures. Otherwise, I do not know what else you could provide beyond your own talents. We're as prepared for the onslaught as we could possibly be, all things considered. No, nothing comes to mind. If you have not spoken to the Mayor, Murdoch, you should. His militia is far more in need of aid than we are. As you wish, Grey Warden. Make a watch over you.
No word from the castle? No, all is still, as it has been for days.
Ah. It's sort of like coming home again, but with more undead.
Say no more. The Arl lives, and I will not listen to your inauspicious chatter.
What?
Let us... You are a stranger amongst us, and a mage, I see. Yet you still defend our home in its darkest hour. We are grateful. The Maker smiles on those who aid his children. Allow me to introduce myself. I am revered Mother Hannah, head of this chantry, which for the moment is a place of...
How awful this must be for you all.
All those who... They are terrified of tonight's attack, and I fear these walls will not keep them safe. I have done all I can for them. I pray... What Sir Perth seeks is something that is not in my power to give. I can pray with them and give them my blessing, but Sir Perth wants me to call a...
Well, can't you just tell him the Maker will watch over?
You mean you want me to let them think the Maker protects them in a real sense? I suppose their belief in the Maker's power could Very well. I have a number. Now please.
Just lie to him. Just tell him. It helps the moral. The morale.
The Knights of Redcliffe are ready to fight at your disposal. Have you spoken to the revered mother? Has she offered anything?
Must we do this?
If they are the same as the symbols worn by their priests, well, that would more than suffice. I will send some men to collect the amulets. Please give my regards to Mother Hannah for seeing some... There is still time before the sun goes down. If you have not yet spoken to Murdoch, or if there is anything you have... Good luck to you then.
They're coming! Get to your positions! Make ready!
Alright, everyone, I think this is where I'm going to end the stream, and next time we will continue the assault. Thanks for ending up watching. And if you end up watching, please, at a later date, please give it a follow. Thanks.